Mm. Give me 2 minutes, okay, please. Sorry, guys. Let us start. Okay. So functions. Normally, a function is nothing but group of statements. Means it will. We are going to consider that as a block, and inside that block, we are going to consider a single statement or more than one statement. Means nothing but group of statements. Okay. So let us see why we need functions. Okay. Here I mentioned that clearly as well. If a group of statement is repeatedly required, then it is not recommended to write these statements every time separately. Okay, means, okay, we have one project. Okay, in that project, we need some code, means at least 3 or 4 lines or more than that, repeatedly, means in multiple places, we need the same 4 or 5 statements multiple times. Okay, in multiple places, we need to use that. Okay, in that case, that's not a good practice to write the 4 or 5 lines of code again and again. Okay, you can consider any lines of code, but with an example, I am telling 4 statements or 5 statements like that. Okay, so the 4 lines or 5 lines of code, you no need to write again and again wherever it need. Okay, one simple approach is you can put that code inside a function, and wherever you want that 4 or 5 lines of code, instead of writing the whole code, you can call that function. What is the advantage here? The code is reduced and the function is reusable. Okay, means wherever you required, you are again and again calling the function wherever we need it. Okay, so this is the thing. So the group of statements, instead of writing that group of statements again and again, we can wrap that group of statements to a function, and whenever we need the statements, we can call that function instead of writing the group of statements again and again. Okay, this is the purpose of functions. Okay, see what we are doing. We have to define these statements as a single unit, and we can call that unit any number of times based on our requirement without rewriting. See, we already told, right? Without rewriting that for group of statements again and again, we can put that statements in a single unit, that is nothing but function, and whenever you need that, you can call that function. Okay, this is nothing but a function. So this is the thing. Understand? I am repeating once again. Okay, you need a group of statement in multiple places. Okay, so instead of writing the code again and again, we can wrap that group of statements into a single unit, and you can call that whenever it's required. So that single unit we are going to call as functions. The main advantage with functions is reusability. Reusability means again and again we can use it, not a single time use. Again and again we can use it. Okay, this is the purpose of functions. Okay, and we have two types of functions here: built-in functions, user-defined functions. Okay, so built-in functions means we are going to install Python, right? So along with Python, there will be few functions which are automatically installed into our system. Okay, whenever Python is installed, few functions you are going to get inbuilt. Okay, inbuilt functions, built-in functions, okay, are inbuilt functions, okay, predefined functions. These are all we called as built-in functions, like multiple names. Okay, means along with your Python software, you are going to get those. And some examples are there. ID. Why we are going to use ID? To know the address of your variable, we are going to use ID. That is inbuilt. Type. Why we are going to use type? Type is going to define the type of data stored in the particular variable that we already know. And input, what input going to do? It is used to take user input. Eval, so eval is one of the function that is used to evaluate the expressions passed by you. Okay, in our further classes we will discuss how this eval is going to work. And you have int, str, float. These are all built-in functions. Okay, along with the Python software, you are going to get those functions. You no need to separately install them or import them. You can use those functions directly. Okay, those are built-in functions. And then user-defined functions. User-defined functions means based on the requirement. Okay, based on the requirement, the user going to define a function. Those are nothing but user-defined functions. Means defined by the developer or defined by the user or defined by some other person. Okay, those are user-defined functions. Okay, see, the functions which are developed by programmer explicitly according to business requirements are called user-defined functions. Okay, those are defined by the programmer, developer, or user, whatever it be. Those we are going to define based on the requirements. Okay, those we are called as user-defined functions. Okay. Here, this is the syntax how you can implement. And def is a keyword that we are going to use to define a function. This is mandatory function. Like to define a class, we are going to use class keyword, right? Like that, to define a function, we need to use def keyword, and then function name, and then parameters. If that function based on the requirement, if the function going to take any parameters, you can pass here. Okay, doc string. Okay, one of the important question, what is meant by doc string? Okay, let us discuss. Doc string means document string. Okay, it's going to give you a brief introduction about the function or the class. Means it's going to tell what this particular function or what this particular class going to do. Using docstring is very good practice. Remember, using docstring is very good practice. If you are involved in a particular project or in a real-time project, we are going to use these docstrings. Those are nothing but inside three double quotes or three triple quotes, we are going to add small description about the function or about the class, so that outsiders, like if you are programmer, no, so you know what is the purpose of function. Outsiders are a non-programming background persons, how they can come to know. So for that purpose, we are going to maintain docstring. So it's going to give you short description about the function or class, so that others also can understand, okay, this is the purpose of this function and this is the purpose of the class. But if you assign this doc string to a variable, that will become multi-line string. If you are not assigning this doc string to any variable, that we use it to call as document string. That is a short description about your function or class. Okay, got it? And any statements inside that, and return value is mandatory for the function. Okay, return statement. Okay, we can see how this return will work. Okay, we can use print as well, but probably inside a function we are going to use return. Let us see one example without parameters. Okay, def fun. I'm not passing any parameters, just I'm printing. Hi, good morning. Okay, so this is you define. Okay, if you run, it won't give you any output. Why? Because you are not call this function. Functions are going to return a value, or functions are going to execute whenever you call that function, then only it will work. Okay, let us call the function fun. See, now it will print hi good morning. When? Because you call the function. This is the function call. And if there are any parameters, you need to pass here. As of now, I don't have any parameters. That's why I called it. Okay. But if you use return here, instead of print, if you use return, how it will work? Let us see. Return statement. Then you need to store that in a variable. Okay. And then you can print it. See, with the print, you can directly call. Okay. And if you use return, this is a way you can assign that function to a variable, or else one more approach is there. Print fun. You can directly use print on it. And if you run, it will print you hi, good morning. Okay. This is how we can work with return and how we can work with print inside a function. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Hello. Hello.
Yes, Mansa.
Yes, Mansa.
Okay.
Yes, Mansa.
Then we can discuss parameters. Okay. Parameters are nothing but inputs to the function. For example, we need to add two functions. Okay, with a help, sorry, we need to add two values with the help of function, means we need to pass that two values to that function, right? So parameters are nothing but inputs for the function. Okay, so if a function contains parameters, then at the time of calling, compulsory we should provide values. Otherwise, we will get errors. Okay, is it clear? So, for example, if you are passing some value to the like parameters to the function while calling it, you need to, how to say, you need to pass values to that. Okay, so let us see. Now I am not taking anything, right? Now let us add two numbers. A comma B. This is my requirement. My requirement is with the help of function, I need to add two numbers. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Sorry, I got some internet issue. Is my screen visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Manasa.
Okay, sorry. See, now what is my requirement is with the help of function, I want to add two numbers. Okay, so I'm just passing A comma B and I'm return A plus B. Okay, and while calling the function, we need to pass the parameters. Otherwise, that will give you error. See, now I didn't pass any parameters while calling the function. And let's see. See, type error, function missing two required positional arguments. Mean if you pass parameters to the function while defining the function, in calling also we need to pass. So I pass two parameters, no, because I want to just add two. So if you pass 1 comma 2, it will print 3. I'm using return, remember. One we did without parameters and this one with the parameters. Okay. And then return statement we
Ma'am,
are.
is it possible to
Yes,
hello?
yes Jaisudha.
Ma'am, is it possible to pass 1, 2 like that, ma'am?
Directly. Where? Here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you can
Define function
pass.
of one.
No, then that's not a good practice. If you want to pass by default, you can do like this. These are called as built-in like default arguments. You can do like this.
Mansa, your voice is not clear.
Guys, I have some internet issue. Okay, so after the sorry, I have some internet issue. Okay, so once this class done, you can just refer the video. And if you have any doubts today evening, I will take one doubt clearing session. Okay, don't mind.
Okay,
Jaisudha,
Mansa.
here you can take default arguments like this, but you can't directly pass 1 comma 2 as an values and return 1 plus 2 like that. You can do, but that's not a good practice. Okay. At the time also you need to pass again. See, if you do like this and if you won't pass anything, see, it will give you syntax error. Okay, that's not a good practice. Okay. You can take default arguments are like A comma B. Or you can value assign values to them and you can do, but directly you can't pass 1 comma 2 like that. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then a return statement is nothing but it is used to return some data from the function. Okay, function can take input values as parameters and execute business logic. Okay, the response from a function you can return with the help of return statement. Okay, and you can return multiple values at a time. See, one is a plus b, like along with addition I want mine like subtraction, And if you pass 3 comma 3, let's see what output you will get. See 6 comma 0, it's going to return you tuple. Okay, if you are returning more than one value with a return statement from a function, it's going to return you tuple. Okay, addition subtraction, see this is the output. 6 comma 0 is the output, means one is addition, one is subtraction, and that is going to be a tuple. If you do along with a minus b, if you perform multiplication, so there will be three values in a tuple. See 6, this is a 6 is for addition, 0 is for subtraction, 9 is for multiplication, like that. So with one return statement, you can return multiple values and the final result will be a tuple. Okay. Is it clear, guys?
So, like, Mansa,
Yes.
yeah, while returning like same data type should be there, different like float, int, and string can be written in one
Yeah,
statement.
whatever the output you want based on your requirement. If the output is a string, you can return that. If the output is a float, you can return. If the output is a string, you can return it. For example, see, if you do a divided by, you are going to get what? Float.
Yeah, floating. Mm.
Okay, but if you want to return int, you can use integer division or you can convert it to int. And if you run it, see, it's going to return you 1. So you can apply the type conversion here as well. Okay,
Okay,
or
no,
after
wait,
getting
what I'm asking,
hmm, yeah, tell me.
go on. So if we did a by b means obviously float will get.
Okay,
If we did like a plus b will get int.
okay,
So can we return that way? And
like,
if you want to return this is some value means like a string. So can we return like three different data types in a one
yeah,
return
you can
statement?
return. See, like now I will do a plus b. Okay, then a divided b. Okay, and str of a. See, why three values empty? All three kinds of values you have. See, 6, this is integer.
Mm.
1.0 is your
Wow.
float. 3 is your string. Okay, you can
Mm.
return anything.
Mm.
Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.